Now we're waiting for this to blink red. Took like never happened. Something yesterday, that record step failed. I did not get the recording for my first, so I didn't wait to confirm that red record was there. All right, welcome. Let's begin with a prayer. I will share my screen, clicking present now in the lower right, choosing your entire screen, clicking on the screen, clicking share. Okay, let's pray this from Psalm 50. You will read if you're remote, mute, we don't have to. And then you'll read the bold and I'll read the verses. In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Together. To the upright, I will show the saving power of God. Hear my people, and I will speak. Israel, I will testify against you. God, your God, am I. God, your God, I will show the saving power of God. Not for your sacrifices do I rebuke you, for your burnt offerings are before me always. I take from your house no bullock, no goats out of your fold. To the upright I will show the saving power of God. For mine are all the animals of the forests, beasts by the thousand on my mountains. I know all the birds of the air, and whatever stirs in the plains belongs to me. To the upright I will show the saving power of God. If I were hungry, I should not tell you, for mine are the world and its fullness. Do I eat the flesh of strong bulls, or is the blood of goats my drink? To the upright I will show the saving power of God. Why do you recite my statutes and profess my covenant with your mouth, though you hate discipline and cast my words behind you? To the upright I will show the saving power of God. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay, you'll notice it says to the upright, I will show the saving power of God. So for you all who are remotely, you can't lie down. You can't be on the couch or in bed, because it says to the upright, I will show the saving power of God. Okay, I'm going to stop screen sharing for a moment. And to do that, I'll demonstrate at the same time. To stop screen sharing, you go back to the meeting as the presenter, find the green stop presenting button. And now we're all seeing you again. I want to compliment Ms. Sluderman. I reviewed my day. How did God bless me yesterday? He blessed me by sending you to teach that. It was really good. In our plan on reopening school, we took the verse from Luke that says a student becomes like the teacher. Do you remember that verse? The student becomes like the teacher. And we put that in the plan because that's why parents send their kids to Trinity. It's because of you. You know, it's because they want their students to be more like you, teachers. So it's not because we're going to show them flashy, technical presentations or really, cool stuff. It's you. One reason I'm saying that is they've got to see your face. I mean, I wore a hat today, okay? You can't just be a talking head. I wanted to do at least something different. But, when a person wears a hat, it usually means something, a sports team or something about themselves. Well, my son, you know my son, Ben, he lived in a house that I owned, and he lives in Denver now. He's been away for a year, but after he moved out, I went in there, and I started finding stuff. Well, everything Ben had, if he had something, it was good. He always had to have the best. Whatever. So I found this hat. This is a hat that Ben left in the rent house. And so now when I grab this hat, I think of my son, Ben, who's 27 years old now, and he lives in Denver. Some of you may know him. He waited tables at River City Deli for several years. And then now he's in customer service for a software company in Denver. Okay, now you know something about me. Now, was that relevant to our training on blended development? No, except we're building relationships. So the students need to know something about you and use this element. Use the video. Let them see your face. Let them know something about you. A hat, a shirt. I love, Emily, Miss Sluderman, your shirt. So now I know that you're into plants, possibly. The shirt that she has, we'll show you later, it says, "Hey, sucka," or something. "What's up, sucka?" And it has a picture of a succulent plant, which I guess sucka means that. But we're building relationships. That's another reason I did the video of me in the yard. You not only learned synchronous and asynchronous, but you learned that my mother-in-law gardens and that I mowed my own yard with a cheap lawnmower and that I like Dairy Queen and just things you gotta, so we gotta be more creative and more expressive than just the technical stuff. All right. Or you used the word creative, Ms. Schmitz, the other day. Be creative. And with the flowers that you put on your backgrounds, once you all get as good as that, start doing that. Senor Niz, I remember you playing music for your students, and that's something you can do. You can do asynchronously. Hey, before class, I want you to listen to this song because it's going to help, get your mind where I want it to be. All right. But, by doing that before class, then you're not taking class time to do it. I didn't have to take class time to tell you that I like, Dairy Queen. But I was able to do that outside of class. So the point is, it's all about relationships. So don't let the technology destroy the relationship. Use it to improve the relationship. Like Coach Mears did it, Hey, here's me in my kitchen. All right, now I know what Coach Mears' kitchen looks like. And now when I picture Coach Mears at home, he's in his kitchen. There he is. And the personalities, the people that he brought into the exercises. So, and and what he's doing while when he steps out of the picture, what he's drinking. Show us that again. I'm not sure everybody saw that, Coach Mears. There you go. I'll edit this video, Dr. Honbeck. Don't worry. All right. So we're teaching, but we're building relationships. All right. Let's look and see. I'm screen sharing again. Screen sharing again. And let's see what we did yesterday and what we're going to do today. Okay, it says I'm sharing my screen. Yesterday we covered slides, presentations, Google Slide, and how to create it. And you had an assignment to create 4, and I'll grade those after class today. We covered using the form for quizzes. The third thing I had on the plan was written exams. We'll pick up there today. Then today's topics are managing students' classwork. That's knowing how to use Google Classroom to manage students' classwork, assignments, and grades, and then to conduct a live class. I'll go through the steps of how to do what we're doing now. Start it, share screen, record, and end it. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. So let me pick up with the topic that we left over from yesterday, written exams. Okay, I'll share this presentation with you afterwards. But written exams, why? The reason that I added this on written exams, and Ms. Sluderman alluded to it, there's some problems with forms. And one of the problems we've had with forms is that it may lock up in the middle. So forms is for something they can answer quickly, like multiple choice. But if it's going to take like a half an hour or an hour for them to do this test, they need to be able to save their work. The way that I've done that is to use Google Doc so that they can save their work.
Yes.
Yeah. So my objective in this section is to know how to create a written exam in Google Docs for assessments that require long answers. Let me show you quickly an example of one. Here's an example of one. Of course, I want to show you a good student. I think Alyssa did pretty well on this. This is from my Survey of Fine Arts class. It took some of them an hour to take this test. So you can see it's a Google Doc. It has Alyssa's name on it. And as soon as it finishes loading, you'll see that I had them look at a picture. It has a question in the painting above. Let's see. Describe how the artist used line as an expressive element. And then Alyssa had to type her answer in the box. Okay, so I inserted a diagram, that's the picture. I typed the question 1. When she had the test, this was a blank box. She types in the box. Because it's a Google Doc, it saves automatically in the background. So if the computer locks up or the internet dies for them in the middle of the test, they don't lose their work. And then to grade a Google Doc, you can see my comments to the right-hand side. You hover over it. This one's already done, but you can hover in edit mode and it'll pop up a plus sign. You click on it and it gives you a dialog box and you can type in it. Okay, so that's how you give feedback to it. So that's an example.
It made a sound, I don't know if it was a chat or maybe it would
This sound?
Did it make anything else? Do you hear the sound?
Oh, that was Mr. Jones' phone.
No, a little bit of ding. Is it a ding like it makes in a chat? I'm just curious if they have a problem.
Oh, I see a chat. We're going to look and see.
I'm just wondering if there's an issue.
People, chat. I can't hear anymore. I still have volume. Okay, can somebody nod yes if you can hear me? Okay, temporary issue.
I'll make sure you have the same thing as yesterday. We remember to start recording or something crazy.
Yeah. Okay, what Ms. Sluderman said is she heard a bing. So apparently when you did that, it banged and I didn't hear it. So that, all right, let's go back to the written exams. So you saw an example where I did it. Here's how I did that. Let me present so it's bigger for everybody. So the exam requires a long answer. That's why I use this method. You would go to your Google Drive, open the folder for your subject, and choose New in Google Docs. So you're creating a Google Doc. So again, the key is start in the Drive subject, because you're going to have to be able to find it. Then give the exam a title. Always give your exam a title. It will come up initially and say untitled document. Replace untitled document with the title.
I've got about 40 of those right now.
Yeah, if you have 40 untitled documents, it means you need to start doing that. And then type a question and create an answer box. The way you create an answer box is up above. You choose Insert, Table, 1 by 1. So that box is really a table with only 1 row and 1 column. That's the trick. Is you insert a table that is 1 row and 1 column. And it automatically makes it the width of the page, And then as they type in it, it grows. Okay? Here's the example of what the test looked like before. When they open it, it shows the question in the answer box. They can type in the answer box, and they can type as much as they want, and the box expands. And you can see you can do anything. I mean, this is a Google Doc, so you can use bold, you can use indenting, you can insert links, you can insert pictures, all the things you normally would do with a Google Doc. Okay? Okay, now, once you've done that, it's in your subject folder. Now you need to create the assignment that gives them the test. So in Google Classroom, you click the Classwork tab in the middle. Oh, accidentally click. Click the Classwork tab. Click Create Assignment. So you're assigning them this test. You fill in the assignment details. So you fill in the fields that I've marked below. That is the name. You can see this one's called Unit 4 Exam. You give it a description. I've said type the answers in the attached Google Doc and turn in when you're finished. And then click Add and choose Google Drive. Because that's where this test is right now. It's in the Google Drive. You created it in the last step. Okay, also here on the right-hand side, you can choose if you want to only assign this to some students or all students. It comes in defaulted as all students. It may happen that you only are going to assign this to 2 or 3 students. Asynchronously, I can see this happen. All of us synchronously, we're going to take the test now. The asynchronous ones, I'm going to send it to you later. And that's how I've done it in the past when a student is taking a makeup exam. I'll just assign it to them. Okay, that's done with this students. Okay, give it the number of points and give it a due date. Now that's true about all assignments. Everything I've said here is true about all assignments. Is to fill in the title, the description, click Add, choose the source, which is the Google Drive, for attaching a document you created previously. All right, I'm going to the next slide. Okay, the next thing is I clicked Add down below. Down here I click Google Drive. Now it's going to ask me which Google Drive file do you want to attach? Well, it's the exam I just created in the last step. So you choose My Drive at the top. You go find the exam you created. You remember I called it Unit 4 Test. I pick it and I click Add. Okay, that will attach it to the exam. Now, Emily pointed out yesterday that recent, most likely it's going to be there if you use recent. But I always tell people to use My Drive so that you get used to finding things where they are. All right, so once you've found it, you select it, you click Add. Now we're back to the detail thing, and this is what makes it a copy for each student. You've got to choose Make a Copy for each student over here on the right. If you don't do that, then they're all going to be typing on the same paper. You've got to choose Make a Copy for each student. The great thing about this is it automatically puts their name on it. You have an individual doc for every one of them, and then you can step through each one. And they're not typing on each other's papers. Okay, so you choose Make a Copy for each student. And then there will be a Save option. The next thing is Save Draft to assign later. Chances are you're doing this the night before or the day before. You don't want to assign it to them right then. So in the upper right, click the green drop-down arrow and choose Save Draft. Because you got it all staged, ready to go for when you're going to assign it to them. You save it as a draft. All right. Once you save the draft, now it's the next day. You're in class. You've said, students, we're going to start the exam now. So to get ready to start the exam, you choose classwork in Google Classroom. That's at the top. You find the exam. And in my example here, you can see it's Unit 4. And notice it has the word draft mode. That means the students haven't seen it yet. It's still in draft mode. Its students have not seen it. I have not assigned it. You choose the 3 dots and click Edit. Edit is going to open it up now for you to assign. Once you click Edit, I'm going to the next slide. Now you start the exam by clicking the Assign button. You click the Assign button, you ask the students to refresh their screen, and begin the exam. Okay.
You assign this to each class separately?
Yes.
It doesn't go to all of my
No, it goes to all the students in that Google Classroom. Yeah,
And as long as you don't return it, nobody else can see it.
that's correct. You've only shared it with those students. Okay. Once they finish it, they click Turn In, and they can still view it, but they cannot type on it. Okay. During the exam, you can monitor the exam. You can click on the assignment to see the student's work in progress. You can see student 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can watch the students that are turning it in. You can click on it and you can watch them physically typing. You can see where they are. So you can get a feeling about, are they ahead, behind, who's about to be done, who's not. Then the student, number 2, the students click Turn In. The exam is view only for each student after they click Turn In. And then in Google Classroom, you can grade it. So it's just like the forms we looked at yesterday. You can assign the number of points. Okay, let me do a little bit of a demo. So I showed you an exam where I had done that. This is how it ended up looking. So just so you know, the reason the Mona Lisa looks so complacent and calm and peaceful, we learned that it's the horizontal lines and the smile, her neckline, her hands, and that's what they needed to describe to me. The reason that George Washington looks so strong and bold and authoritative is the vertical lines. He's standing up straight. There's a pillar behind him. There's a vertical table legs and all these vertical things happening. There you go, artist trick. That's what I was asking them to describe. And so I wanted long explanation here. I still got one-word answers from some of them. All right. What did this look like in the classroom? Let me go find it. I'm going to go to class. I'm going to go find my Fine Arts. Oh, FA. There it is. So I've gone to the classwork tab where I'd assigned that, and I think that was a Unit 3 test. No, was it, or Unit? I think that was the Unit 3 test that as my example. No, this one. Oh, see here, I'd only assigned this to one because I did have a makeup student. So I did only assign this to one student. This test had a format, but I could see what they're doing. It looks like I assigned it to a student that never did it. Oh, it's demo. That's demo student. Okay, but here's where I would grade it. If demo student had filled it in, I would go in and I'd review it. Oh, I said this is a test. I could hover over. Where's my block? I'm not getting my comment box that I want. Maybe that's because it's not loaded yet. There it is. I have to highlight something. So what am I commenting on? Okay, this is not a complete answer. -5 points. Okay, so I've graded it. Now when I return it, you'll see that on this is my comment. Here's where I can, after I go through, because it's a written document, it's not going to automatically have these points up. I have to do it manually. But let's say that demo student gets a 75. So now that's there. And then you can click next and go to the next student and grade theirs. Click next, go to the next student and grade theirs. When you're done, actually I could return that to the student, and now they see their paper with the comments and the grades.
Yeah, but if you give it a test one day, you don't want to return any of them.
Okay.
Because they're going to give each other the answers and they can look on each other's papers.
Yes, that's correct. And that's what I need to tell you all. There's not many, if any, safeguards against cheating in this method. Okay. You got to remain 6 feet from everybody, Mr. Jones.
I can't see what you're doing.
I'm sorry. But that's all right, because I'm not going to display anything at the moment. This method that I just showed you, another student could share it with another student. If they do, you'll get a notice that, Bobby shared it with Billy, because you won't. No, you won't get it. Because as soon as they make a copy, they own it. You wouldn't know if they shared it. They can also save a copy. So,
It should let you know if you copy it, because even if you copy it there, you're still like using. I'm pretty sure. Right?
when you choose that make a copy for each student, they become the owner. I verified that yesterday.
You could have them share it with you, so that way you have
Yes, you can have them explicitly. For example, let me go into, I don't want to spend too terribly long on this, but I'll look at Caroline Smith's. Okay, this is a random, okay, notice this is the one that was Caroline's. I think it will show me that she is the owner of this document. Yeah, it does. It says it right here, owner. It assigns the ownership of the document to the student. They can share it with other people.
See how it has like the two people? Doesn't that mean there's more than one person with rights to it?
Yeah, but ownership is the key. Only one person has ownership rights. So when I click share here, it should tell me who's the owner and who else has access. Yeah, you see Caroline Smith is the owner. All the others are listed as editors because they're teachers on this classroom with me.
Wouldn't you be able to, if you like suspect it, you could go into that and see who all is a user and you can know that they shared with
Yes. If you suspect it, you could look at it and see who else is. Yeah, if they shared it with another student, that student's name would be listed there. So if you suspect it, you can go look, but it's not preventing it. There's ways to cheat. There's even ways to cheat with a form, though, too. So I'll stop. Students, if you're listening to this, well, I won't tell you then. You'll have to figure it out for yourself. All right. But, hey, this is a drawback, okay? But but it's a way to do it. Okay. Let me see if I've completed that topic. That was the demo portion. All right, 1:30. Any questions? Any other questions here? Questions from the internet? Yeah, Senor Hernandez, you can unmute and ask your question.
Thank you, Mr. Hines. Just a question. After you said that you type the question, you go to you choose insert. And
Yes.
then what do you do after that?
Okay, let me show you. Sorry, I did intend to show you that. 1 second. Gotta share again. Share again. Let me go into a document. Let's see if I made a practice one anywhere. Okay, I'll do it real quick. So let's say that you're creating one of these. Clicking create. First thing you're going to do is give it a name, waiting patiently for it to let me do it. Okay, so let's say this is the Unit 5 exam. Giving it a name. Now, type the question. Number 1. Name the spelling counts. It's not keeping up with me. Name the winning general at the Battle of Gettysburg and describe his tactics and motivational strategies. All right, does that sound like a reasonable question? Okay, I hit enter once. I hit back to get rid of number 2, because I'm not ready for number 2 yet. Now, here's the answer to your question. I chose insert, clicked insert. Notice one of the options under insert is table. Once I get to table, I haven't clicked it yet, but it's going to say, okay, how many rows and how many columns? Do you see the 1 by 1?
Yes, sir.
You want a 1 by 1, which means I'm going to click the square that indicates 1 row and 1 column. Click the square, and there it is. There's my answer box.
Thank you so much.
You can hit enter a few times to make it look bigger. Now, I'm clicking down below. Question number 2.
Okay.
Name the breakfast that the general in number 1 ate before the battle. Okay. All right. There you go. So the answer to the question was insert table 1 by 1.
1 by 1.
All right. Now, while I'm here on insert, this is where I also would insert an image, drawings, etc. Okay. Any other questions on written exam?
Thank you.
All right. It is 1:40. Let's see what our next topic is. Our next topic, I'm going to wait till 10 till to take a break. Where are we? Okay, managing student schoolwork. So our next topic for today is managing student schoolwork. I think I'm still screen sharing.
But I can't see that screen right now without causing feedback.
You can if you'll mute your speaker and mute your microphone. If you want to get into the meeting, do it, yeah. Yeah. So you mute your speaker by, here, yeah, get in there. So, get in there. It's like Simon says, you get caught. Broke my own rule. Ms. Rosal pointed it out, though. All right. So here's what we're doing. We're managing students' classwork. You'll see I've highlighted the word classwork because that's where you do it in Google Classroom. Okay. The objective of this section is to know how to use Google Classroom to manage students' classwork, assignments, and grades. Throughout this presentation, I use the words GC so I didn't have to type Google Classroom over and over again. Okay. I will say this, we've been modeling it. You've been, as a student, you've been receiving your assignments this way. Okay, so you know from a student's perspective how it looks. And I know for 3 years at least, you all been teaching this way. So many of these things you're familiar with. Okay, we manage the students' schoolwork, classwork, same thing. We're going to cover in this session, number 1, import grades to facts from Google Classroom. Facts is previously known as Renweb. Number 2, we're going to see how to post reference materials in Google Classroom. A reference material is just something you want them to have. Number 3, post graded questions, assignments, and quizzes in Google Classroom. Number 4 is how to reuse posts from class to class. That's my favorite feature, is reusing posts. Number 5, direct students to the to-do list. That's where they'll find their work for all your classes. And then number 6, there's a new grades tab in Google Classroom that I will show you today. Okay, those are the things we're going to do here now. All right, topic 1 has to do with facts in Google Classroom. On this slide, I'm going to send you this presentation after class. But click here for instructions on how to use the Facts Google Classroom integration. I'm going to go there now. Okay, I clicked on this presentation. This is the documentation that I sent in March. So you've had this previously, but the Fax company came out with this just before, it was like their timing was just before the shutdown happened. They came out with this feature, so we decided to implement it. Some of you were able to use it and some of you were already too far down the road. But what I want to point out in this instruction, so you'll click that link that I will give you. Notice there's a video you can click. I also gave you that video before class today and I asked you to watch it. If you were able to do that, 3-minute video, it goes through exactly what I'm going to show you here. The first section is to let you know that there is a one-time setup. The setup's done by the RenWeb administrator. That's me and Mr. Edwards. We're the administrators. And what we do is we link your FACS class with your Google Classroom class. Once that's been done, and we do that, then the rest works for you. I'm going to show you a screenshot. Let me zoom into this. Okay, you're familiar with this, I hope, that this is creating an assignment in FACS. And when you create an assignment in FACS, you've given it the grade, the assignment, you filled in the assignment, and then you scroll to the bottom, there's going to be a button there that says Google Classroom. I've circled it in red. That initially, that box is not checked, but you check that box, and what that's going to do is that's going to copy this assignment to Google Classroom. And it's going to be linked now so that the grades from Google Classroom can be imported back in. It's that checkbox that does it. Okay, and then you can see I've given you the red arrow there to show you click Save. I can't demonstrate this live in Google Classroom. I tried this morning, but FACS is locked right now. The assignments, the classes from last year are locked, and the classes from this year aren't available yet for me to demonstrate this. So I can only show you screenshots, but that's okay. Yes?
If the student, let's say, changes, because you said these are kind of connected.
Yes.
FACS and Google Classroom. If a student changes from third period to fourth period, will all that automatically, how will that work?
Okay, the question is, if a student changes from first period to third period, will everything move automatically? Let me think for a minute.
I know in Google Classroom, the student usually has to, you give them a code, and the student uses that code to log in.
I don't remember, to be honest with you. We'll have to, when that happens, and it will, we'll have to make sure that if it's added, if the student is added in FACS, if it automatically creates it in Google Classroom. I think it will. It attempts to keep things synchronized. Okay. It attempts to keep them synchronized. For that reason, whenever there's changes made to class names or rosters, we can't just do it on the fly. We need to coordinate with Mr. Edwards when he adds somebody to your class. And okay, now I'm scrolling down, and notice now I'm showing a screenshot in Google Classroom. So this is a screenshot of that same assignment that I created in FACS. This is how it looks in Google Classroom. And notice it's in the Classroom Classwork tab, and it's there, but it's in draft mode. So it creates them automatically in Google Classroom, but it leaves them in draft mode because it knows that you're going to have to add some instructions, you're going to add some attachments, you're going to do more to it. So what you have to do now, and what you accomplished so far, is you've got them linked so that the grades will go back and forth. But now you have to finish it. To finish it, you go to Google Classroom, you click on the three dots to get the edit button up, and then you start editing it. And I didn't give you a screenshot of editing it, but it's normal. In fact, we'll do that in a minute when we get into Google Classroom. Okay, on the way back, now let's assume that they've completed the assignment. You have graded it in Google Classroom. So here's a screenshot of how that would look. You have applied the grades in Google Classroom. So I've circled all the grades. This was a 40-point quiz, and they all did a stellar job on that. And so I've entered the grades, and you click return. Once you click return, then FACS is going to say, oh, you have graded this. So on the fact side, now the next screenshot, you've gone back into facts and you're looking at that assignment. And here's where you normally would type in the grades. But because you had linked it, you've got this box that says load Google Grades. And by clicking that box, then they come in. Okay. End of documentation. I intend for when August comes and we all have we're going to have to coordinate the creation of Mr. Edwards creating the classes and the rosters in Facts, and then creating them in Google Classroom and making sure that all the students are linked. Yes, question?
I was curious, is there any way, because this is great, the only issue I found with it is, sometimes you update through Google multiple times because people would turn to fit late, or maybe they graded some, and a few other people graded, you got to grade it later, so it's not all at one time. And every time you updated, let's say someone hasn't turned it, you went in as missing, because there isn't a missing option on Google Classroom, it just will have a blank there now where you had it in, and we'll hold that, and fixes all of them that have been returned.
So, yes, the question is then, what happens if there's a missing or?
Pretty much, I just want to know that if you had put missing in, and it still turned in, but you have some other kids turn something in, when you click that update in Google, it'll update those new ones, but then where you put in before, it'll get rid of that in because it updates all of them and it's not showing it as missing on Google Classroom. Like it doesn't, there's no missing on Google Classroom. It's
Okay.
just not there, but there's no grade as in for missing.
Okay. We'll do some testing. So that I think the point is, how is it handling missing? And when you import grades and you subsequently import grades again because some new grades came in and some were missing, you're saying in RenWeb or Facts it showed as a blank.
Yeah, there's no longer an M there. Now it takes it out.
Oh, it clears out the M. Oh, okay. All right. So.
I like to put M in there, even if it's not due yet, but I've already graded it, I'll put it in so they know, hey, this is missing. Watch out for that. But then if you update it, it gets that missing away. So now their grade isn't showing up as like a 0 for missing, it's just showing up as nothing. So it doesn't affect their grade poorly, so they don't notice it as much. That makes sense.
Yes. All right. For those of you online, Ms. Sluderman's pointing out that you put an M in RenWeb, but because there's no such thing as an M in Google Classroom, it's just blank, right? And when you import again, it'll wipe out that M.
Yeah.
So we'll have to figure out if maybe that's a bug that they can.
There's a way to put missing on Google Classroom as well, like, because right now it will say missing for them, but it's not affecting it, it's just nothing.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can put it as realize that it is, if they want that M to be there, they have to be able, and every time they update, you have to put those M's back.
Okay.
The container ones.
Maybe Google Classroom could update that.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Or even rent the.
All right. It is 10 till 2. We're going to take a break. I'm going to stop presenting my screen. Let's come back at straight up 2 o'clock. I'm going to stop the recording and we'll pick up at that time. If I can get the buttons to show up.
You can